Hello everybody. Let's make sure everything's set up. I'm going to post the join link there. And then if you want to join, just copy and paste or hit the link and it'll bring you into my little area and I can get you on. So this is just a little experimenter for you guys to get involved, come on board. It's called the soapbox because back in the day when people used to speak in the streets, they used to get these soapboxes stand on top and yeah, speak the mind. So this is what I'm doing today. It's only an experiment, so if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we've tried it. It's no big deal. So it's just down to you guys. We've got one watching. Bev, how are you? Are you all right? Have you got anything to say? Are you coming on board? Dale, hello there. Welcome aboard. So I don't want to see people typing stuff. If you've got something to say, hit the link and come on board. Come and sit with me in this weird internet universe. Do you like the t-shirt, by the way? It's the Go Vegan. It's the Grumpy Defender of Animals Clothing collaboration t-shirt. Let's see if this share screen will work. So yeah, if you go to this site, Defender of Animals Clothing, and have a look through there, see, Save Tea made with Grumpy Vegan Grandad. You can order one of these t-shirts. Says everything. Says the full Monty. And most of the profits go to helping animal sanctuaries. So, yeah. Only just clicked in, so missed intro. So, don't worry about it. It's only an experiment anyway, Bev. So, I'm going to post a link here. If you want to come on and chat, Bev, just hit that link on your phone and come join if you've got anything to say. We're also started a vegan mentorship program for vegetarians, new vegans, people who want to become vegan, people who are interested, people who are curious about veganism. Go on Instagram and look for the Vegan Switch. Have a look at this. This is mentoring. This is a 3-week program. This is a 3-week program to help the transition to a more compassionate lifestyle. We've got people like myself and other vegans who are long-term vegans who are qualified to, well, not qualified to cook, but can cook and make some meals, and have got families. We've got UK vegan family mentors. So if you've got children and you're worried about bringing them up vegan, come along and we'll get a mentor to help you through the 3 weeks. Never mind, Bev, whenever. I know it's a bit daunting to come onto streams. So yeah, we're just going to wait for somebody to pop up and maybe jump on. Any questions then? Any questions from you chickens out there who won't come on? Anything you want to ask? Oh, we have our first contender. 1 second. I think we've got our first contender. My word. Can you hear me?
Hang on 2 seconds.
Oh, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
The echo now. Nice. First of all, I want to say nice t-shirt.
Nice t-shirt, yeah. Nice t-shirt. And we got to do the t-shirt bounce, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So, well, let me just say that I do know Adam. He's part of one of my YouTube friends, the UK vegan family, and yeah, Adam's getting very vocal lately, aren't you, my friend?
yeah.
So you've come onto my soapbox and you've got something to say. So there's the soapbox. Stand on board and tell us what you want to talk about, our kid, Manchester.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to talk about inequalities within our sort of Western civilization still with veganism. I've got a few examples. A lot because I work in a hospital.
Adam, can I interrupt? Can you just put your microphone a little bit near because you're fading out just slightly as you sort of relax your voice a little bit. So yeah, try again, buddy.
So yeah, is that any better? Right, yeah. So I want to talk about inequalities within sort of Western civilization. Well, Western society, I should say. I'm still with veganism. I'd say I've witnessed quite a few of these recently. I work in a hospital, and in light of like COVID-19 and all this going off, it's really kicked off at work. And there's been a lot of thank yous going on at my work, whereas companies have been dropping things off. You know, here you go, here's lots of stuff for you. And every time they've thanked me, there's never been anything there for me.
So what you're saying is there's never this food-wise. You mean? Are you talking about?
We had like care packages from Domino's Pizza was, I think, yesterday. Not one thing there for me. And that's the second time Domino's have delivered care packages to us, the NHS. I did raise this with my manager, and I said, look, is there going to be anything for me? Because last time there was nothing for me.
Yeah, your microphone's fading out again. Just push it really close to your mouth. Don't be worried about getting it really close. That's it.
So it was the second time that we had a care package delivered from Domino's as a thank you. And second time I didn't get anything. So I checked on their website, and there's literally only, I think, potato wedges. I think they're vegan. So I don't know whether this is like a failure on Domino's behalf, or I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out myself, because I thought, in light of the Inequality Act, the Equality and Diversity Act 2010, I thought there was supposed to be some sort of thing to sort of cover this.
Right, yeah. I get what you're saying. But when it comes to products, food, vegan products, the problem we've got is they're not going to make money off. It's like I used to drive buses when I was younger, and when we privatized the buses, it meant that we could only put buses out that made money. So the little village with 7 people living there, it wasn't profitable to put a bus out to them anymore. No. So, and I think it's very similar in sort of, I know the vegan food industry is big, but you've got to understand that you're a company, you need to make money. You can only cater for so much, and if the demand's not there, then this leads on to problems like with vegans not vegans boycotting, say, McDonald's and KFC and Subway because they sell meat products. This is where we go into that thing again of, we want more products, we want to be represented, but then when we get represented, people boycott it. And it's like we are juggling at the moment with things. But what did your manager say, out of interest?
What did I say?
What did your manager say? How did he come back to that?
Well, he kind of like shrugged it off. It was really like off-putting. I don't know. I kind of said, because the first time he said, I'll do my best to try and get you something, and then I sort of went in there and I was like, oh, did you manage to get anything? He was like, nah, they didn't do anything. I was just like, thanks for thinking of me, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've had that with when I was driving over in Manchester, and they used to do a breakfast run in the morning, and the breakfast had come, and they just said, "Sorry, Dan, we didn't get you anything because you're vegan." I says, "Well, hold on a minute, you didn't ask me though." "Yeah, but we knew there wouldn't be nothing there for you." I went, "Yeah, but just ask me." And then, I mean, I could have asked for dry toast with baked beans on.
Yeah.
Just ask me, you know, and don't exclude me just because you think I might not have anything. You know, I mean, yeah, you're right. It is. There is a lot of, but again, we're a very small minority, very, very small. We're very underrepresented. I mean, even like vending machines. Sometimes when I get a bit peckish at work, they've got vending machines, and I look through there, and I end up with what is it? I have some chili crisp. That's all they've got. Oh, and a little pack of Oreos. Like it's like £2 for 4 tiny Oreo biscuits, and it's like, but everything else is just not there for us. Yeah,
it's the same with our canteen at work as well. Literally, the only thing they do is I think it's like a pre-packaged hummus sandwich, or you can get chips. I think that's about all baked beans.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that really kind of annoys me a bit.
Yeah, it is, and it is going to be like that for a long time, especially in areas where there's a lot of workers. Where, I mean, we are big in the sense of countrywide, but in establishments we're a very, very tiny percentage.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about Black people, Asian people in work, and even they are more represented than vegans are. You know, you see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's I mean, I've worked in factories where they've catered for Muslims, and they've allocated prayer rooms, but that's because there's the percentage has gone up. There's enough of the workforce to justify making that change, and unfortunately, mate, it's something we're going to have to put up for a while.
Yeah, I know. It is, in a sense, quite I can't remember, contradictory, because like I work in a hospital. They should be like pushing it, not like pushing it on people, but you know, supporting people's health. But,
mate, my dad went in the hospital, and I've got him off dairy, and I said, "So have they been giving you some milk, Dad?" I mean, my dad's 80 odd, you know what I mean? He's 84, I think now. And he said, "Oh no, we didn't want to cause a fuss, you know." I said, "Yeah, but if you're not having dairy, they shouldn't be giving you dairy." Well, you know, and it's just one of those things that you've got to sort of stand your ground at them, and I think personally, you're gonna have to stand your ground and say, "Look, no, I'm not having this." If you're gonna, I mean, I don't know how precarious your job is, or how. I mean, we are covered to a point. This hasn't been tested yet, and it's very, very rocky ground at the moment. This veganism being seen as a philosophy and being recognised, but nobody's really tested it apart from that one guy. So
yeah, I know. Yeah.
It takes some guts to do it. Now, you could have said, right, okay, if you're not going to cater for me in this side of things, I feel I'm being excluded. It's a form of bullying. I'm going to make a complaint. But would that then make your life hell? But again, we've got to stir the pot to get change, and people have got to be brave enough to stand up to the bosses and stand up and risk that sort of, you won't risk your job, risk your livelihood. And it's very hard to be that brave, especially when you've got a young family like yourself. So it's a very interesting point. Just a few hellos while we're on. I've got Big D Vapes on. Hello, Big D, friend of mine on YouTube. Bohemian B, doing a bit of thingy. Oh, Michelle Lawler's on. Right, anybody else like to join me and Adam? We'll carry on jibber jabbering for a while, but the link I'm going to post there. If you want to join, just hit that link. You can join it on your phone. You don't have to download anything. You can hit the link and come straight on. So anything else you want to chat about, Adam?
I just want to say a quick hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for the support if you know us, and thanks Dan as well for supporting us. You hear me all right?
Yeah. What about
I want to talk to you about.
Aren't we involved in a little bit of a program?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that we me and myself, Daniela, Dan, and a few other people that I mentioned. Part of it's called the Vegan Switch, and it's a one-to-one mentorship program. If you're interested in becoming a vegan or just needed that little extra help with maybe the diet, some explanations around the ethical side of it, feel free. Give us a message, and we'll be happy to help.
Can you see that there, Adam? Is it come up on the screen?
Yeah, it's come up on the front of mine.
It sort of blanks me out, so I can't see what you guys can see. So yeah, so that's the Vegan Switch. Search it out. I'm hoping we're going to get a Facebook page going, link with it pretty soon. But
we recently had some new mentors, haven't we? We had Zactivist.
Zactivist, Michelle Lowe. So we got some. We're covering all bases now. We're covering all bases. Yeah. We've got family guys like yourself. You've got me living with meat eaters, older generation. You've got Zach representing the young people. We've got single ladies. Yeah, we cover everything. We've got I've got to get her name right. Sanjini.
I believe
it's Sanjini. Yeah, she's a Buddhist, and she's a single ethnic minority lady, and she's got some amazing recipes on her Instagram page. She's a great cook. So yeah, I'm going to be getting into her ribs for thing. We're going to be doing some product reviews as well. So keep your eye out for that. We're going to do it on YouTube. We're going to do it on Instagram Live. We're going to do stories and everything. So come on, there's plenty of people. We've got 11 people in the chat, and nobody's got the balls to come and stand on the soapbox and talk. What's up with everybody? My God.
Come on, feel free to join us.
Why does everybody's a keyboard warrior, but when it comes to face, they all using the meat eaters term, chicken out. What's going on?
So one thing I wanted to talk about to you about is meat eaters that refuse to watch things like Dominion.
Yes.
I watched the Hogwood recently. It is, yeah. Oh, I love meat. Oh, I just love the taste of it. Oh, I couldn't watch it. Oh, it's made. Oh no.
Yeah, and that's it with meat eaters, is certain ones. It's not all of them. You can't sort of blanket everybody. You know what I mean? I'm Easy Vegan's on. Why don't you come on board? What's up with you? Come on.
Hi, Aaron.
Yeah, you can't blanket everybody with it, but I mean, a lot of people are there. A lot of people are open to change. It's just a matter of just piquing the curiosity and maybe just saying something that will get them thinking. Because people say don't be aggressive, but telling the truth can come across as being aggressive, but it's not aggressiveness, you know.
I try with people, but I have to tiptoe around. I know people just get really pissed off with me.
I mean, there's other ways. I mean, I've talked about this before. I've been in the gym sometimes, and I've seen people who spent half an hour on a treadmill. And they're obviously morbidly obese, and I've gone over in the changing rooms, and I've just said, "Listen, mate." I said, "Big up on you doing what you're doing, mate. Trying to make that change. Are you trying to lose weight? Yeah, of course I'm trying to lose weight. Listen, I can give you a little hints on a diet that can, if you do it right, you can eat as much as you want, and you will definitely lose weight." And it piques their interest, and it's like, what is it? Sometimes, and then as soon as I said vegan or plant-based, they either fog over or they show a bit of interest. So you've just got to try it. Like I'm trying this now, trying the soapbox. I was hoping some carnies would come on and try and challenge me or whatever. It's you've got to keep trying things and trying different approaches, because otherwise you never know what's going to work. 40-year-old vegan, hello there.
I didn't know whether to come on here screaming and shouting, but just gonna play it easy, I think, for the first one. Because
we'll do what you need to do.
There's a lot of stuff that really fucked me up.
Well, come on, let us know.
No, I know.
What do you mean, no? What's up with you? Are you man or mouse? What's up with you? What pisses you off? Come on, give us your biggest gripe. Come on. My God.
just the way people fucking think it's normal to just fucking treat animals like the way they do. It just really fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I watched Hogwood, and that was just infuriated me.
Yeah, well, I haven't managed to see that yet.
Make sure you're not planning anything romantic like that night, and then suddenly deciding to go, oh, you know what? We'll watch Hogwood because it's right there on Amazon in front of us.
No,
just don't do it. Just
no, you don't have a romantic evening watching
Nah.
animal abuse, mate. It's just not one. So give us a sort of, without. I mean, I know it's a documentary, it's not a story, but give us a little bit of a background on what happened with that. What was the story behind it? Who were this applying to? What was it all about?
Well, basically, Hogwood was, I think it was reported to Viva because I think there were some people shooting. I don't know whether they were shooting pheasants or clay pigeons or shooting a film, or I don't know what they were shooting. It just says it was reported by some people that were shooting that they saw some people dumping pig bodies in the wood that they were near.
Oh my
They
God.
reported it to Viva, and then Viva went in. I don't think it exists anymore. I think it's closed down now. But it was like a factory farm in Warwickshire, which is literally like the county.
Wow.
Across from me. So yeah, it was, and basically, long story short, they were supplying Tesco's, Morrison's, this foul state of meat, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch this, mate. Listen, I've got Easy Vegan on now. I've got Aaron on, but stay on.
All right.
Just have a look at your microphone settings, the sensitivity, because it is sort of fading in and out as you talk.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Just check your thing here. Let's add Adam. Aaron, sorry. Hello, Adam. Can you hear us? You're on. Look at him. He looks like he. Hello.
Sorry, I was trying to hear me.
Major Tom.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, how you doing?
We're doing good, mate. Thanks for coming on. Welcome to the Soapbox. Climb aboard. Tell us what you've got. Nice t-shirt, by the way. Let's do the t-shirt bounce.
I've got nothing to say really. What exactly you want to talk about? I thought I'd come and say hello because you were tripping about no one coming to help you.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah. I mean, you're the founder of the Vegan Switch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Tell us why you decided to do it, because there's a little bit of a you had a bit of a hissy fit with a certain set of people. I don't know whether you want to mention them, but you was
yeah. Let's talk about that, shall we? Yeah,
let's talk about that. That's an interesting story.
Yeah. So Challenge 22.
Challenge 22. Okay, so let me just explain to everybody. Challenge 22 is one of the main and first sort of vegan mentoring programs that hit the internet. It's quite big. A lot of people have gone through there. It does a really, really good job. However, I think it's got that big that it's not being policed very well. So, Aaron, away with your story.
Yeah, so I was the mentor on Challenge 22. I was quite enjoying it. Thought I built quite a good relationship with some of the mentees. Yeah, they seemed to love me. I was doing really well. I thought, yeah, I had like got the down to earth. Do you know what I mean? Down to earth attitude with them, friendly attitude, which is what they promote. You know. I was even getting on a mentor Facebook group just for the mentors. Even in that, and it was like an informal chat group. Even on there, you know, I was getting. I've shown you the screenshots, haven't I done? I was getting oh yeah, you're doing really well. First time, really good mentor. Well done, Aaron. All this. Anyway, and then towards the end, it was literally the last day. It was like they built like a graduation type Facebook group. So thousands of people from all the different challenges that month. They've got loads of mentees, thousands of mentees, and then hundreds of mentors. And then anyway, I was on there. I was just kind of scrolling through it, and a mentor, an actual admin at the time, decided to post, and the actual post was like a meme, and it said, "When you want to punch," something like this, word for word, maybe not, but it was literally something like this. It said, "When you want to punch your vegan friend in the face, for supporting abortion, yet they don't eat eggs. It was something like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and I there was quite a few comments on that, just saying, you know.
So just let me get this straight. So what they were saying they were doing was bringing in. This is a vegan mentorship program, but they were bringing in abortion issues into the chat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What has that got to do with anything?
Yeah, exactly. So, I very politely just put a comment on there, just saying, you know, this isn't got anything to do with veganism. It's a different topic completely. Let's stick to mentees and veganism. That's literally what I said, very politely. A few comments on there saying, you know, oh, vegans need to be compassionate on all levels and all this, and it's just like, and then incidentally that post got deleted. Anyway, that was an admin and a mentor that posted that. Anyway, and then shortly after there was another post, which said it was another mentor admin as well. So these aren't mentees. If they're mentees, you're looking, oh, fair enough. I mean, delete the post. I mean, but these are mentors. Another mentor decided to post. It was like a what's it called? Where you raise money and stuff. I can't think of the bloody word now.
Fundraiser.
Yeah, it's like a fundraiser, something like that. About it was basically it was a black guy in America, and he got killed. He was an autistic black man who got killed. I'm not too sure about the
I
details.
seem to remember this story.
Yeah,
sort of, yeah, because he was a vegan as well, weren't he?
Well, he wasn't actually. I've spoke to someone else who knows a lot about it, and he wasn't vegan at all. He was which is completely fine. I mean, like, he was a vegetarian apparently, and he had quite a bit, and he did a bit of activism and that. But anyway, completely besides the point. You know, very sensitive subject, and probably a very good fundraiser. Nothing against that whatsoever. But it's not the place to put it. You know, these Challenge 22 is designed for, you know, new people who are wanting to go vegan. You know, a friendly type mentorship. You know, the last thing, and it's quite a scary change. You know, for some people, you know, if the last thing a mentee needs, who is doing a huge change like veganism, needs like abortion thrown at them, and then black rights and to do, you know, and it's just very important issues in their own rights, of course, but not the right place. Anyway, so I put a comment on there saying, you know, I was saying, look, bear in mind their own rules say let's stick to veganism. They argued back saying, oh no, we support Black Lives Matter and so on, which is fine. So, I mean, nothing against any of that, of course not. So I said, well, you know, I'm talking. This is about the stick to the mentees, stick to veganism. Got a barrage of hate from all other mentors as well, and a lot of mentees actually were commenting on this, saying, no, this stick to veganism. Anyway, and yeah, got a barrage of hate. And I put a comment, and I think this was the comment that basically got me kicked off. Is I just said, you wouldn't go to a gay rights group and talk about veganism. You wouldn't go to a cancer charity and talk about Yemen. So why is this being put on a Challenge 22 veganism mentorship? Which I think is a completely fair thing to say.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, completely.
And so what happened? So anyway, all of a sudden, I was blocked from everything, all the groups and stuff. I messaged a couple of the admins just saying, like, oh, can someone please explain to me what's happened? Like, well, I seem to be kicked off, blocked. They seem to, you know, they said, yeah, we'll be back to you. We're just going to get in touch with the admin team or whatever. And obviously Dan yourself, you messaged them as well, didn't you? You got a message back. Oh, no, first of all, I got a message back saying, yeah, you seem to be too passionate, and it's not right. This isn't the right thing for you, or something. Anyway, and then this isn't the right thing for you. Anyway, And I was just like, whatever. Anyway, but then the response that you got was apparently my bad performance throughout the month.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
They basically said you were shite, man. They said you were shite.
Yeah. And then
they said you were rubbish.
Yeah. And then I went back, screenshotted a lot of things. I've shown you some, didn't I? From mentees, from the mentors, from the admins, all saying how great I was doing.
Yeah. And this is what I don't understand, Aaron, is like why it's very, very specific, right? People are making big steps to do something. They want to change their life completely around and stop doing something they've probably been doing since birth. They don't need race issues, abortion issues, clouding the judgment. All they want to do is look at the road in front and follow that road. They don't need distracting with this. Yeah, and I agree with you totally. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And then coincidentally, it's what I did. So they have like a rule on there, like you can't be friends with the mentees. So as in, like, you can't be official Facebook friends with them. Strictly kind of professional relationship anyway. But I wasn't a mentor anymore, so I did a few that I was quite pally with. Basically, and I was just asking for their help. Really. I said, look, would you mind just I've told them the story. They saw the comments. I said, look, can you see these comments and that? And they were like, yeah, this is completely wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I said to him, I said, look, as a mentee, how do you feel about this? And he was like, well, yeah, it's the last thing a new vegan wants is all these other issues thrown at them. And like you rightly said, to stick to the mentees. The most important thing about Challenge 22, the mentees. Anyway, and they backed me up, and I said to them, oh, could you mind, because I'm blocked, could you mind just going back there, just screenshotting a few things and sending them to me, because I want a bit of proof on that. And they said that, like I said, the abortion one, and then the guy who got killed, it got took off. So they took it all off. So why did they take it off? If it was acceptable, why did they take it off? And because I called them out, because I politely called them out, I got blocked and kicked off, and then lied to, saying, oh, bad performance and all this. And it was just like, it's like I put I put a span in the works and they didn't like it. I was a good mentor, their loss. So I was pretty angry and decided to make a mentorship team solely based around veganism. Ask you guys, and we've got an amazing team now. So we solely base it on veganism. No different topics. We first of all, I've said to all you guys, and I think you all agree that one of the biggest things you change by going vegan is your diet. Of course, that is the biggest thing that changes in your life. So we do talk about food and stuff, of course, but we always bring it back to the animals, and that is the most important thing. Because the thing is, this is the most important thing I say is, if someone changes for food, i.e. that's what Challenge 2 do, you're changing a diet. Okay, so that you're not making that connection. Anyone can go back and change the diet, whereas if you make the connection with animals, it's irreversible. I agree. We always talk about the animals. You constantly smash vegan food at someone. Well, that's a healthy diet. That's a good diet. Well, that doesn't mean they're going to be changed. They're not going to make the connection. So you have to talk about the animals, because that is that makes the irreversible change. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that mic better now? Because I've changed the sound.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
So this was on the Facebook group, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So was there any like rules or regulations on that group to say that off-topic subjects about off-topic subjects?
Yeah, so we always got told a lot, always or only vegan related things.
So
and then basically they argued that, basically saying that they had stated that vegan only, but we're allowed to we support Black Lives Matter and things like this. But as said before, it's not the place to be talking about any other thing else. Rather, the new mentees going vegan you know, yeah, I mean, and I got this, and as you do, you get a barrage of hate when you start talking about things like that. But
yeah, that is the thing, though. I mean, we're not saying that we shouldn't put our opinions in to other things like Black Lives Matter, like the abortion issue, whatever. But there's they say there's a place for it, and that isn't the place. It's just counterproductive.
Well, like I said, you wouldn't go to. I'm not. You're not going to go into a gay rights group and talk about veganism. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And it's the same thing. Huge important issues, but you don't do it. It's it's odd in my mind.
Just a little one. It's a bit of an advert here, but I've just got my B12 through from Holland and Barrett. They're doing buy one get one half price or something similar like that of 1p. If there's any new vegans out there, B12 is not an issue. B12 is in most products that we eat. It's in the milk, cereals, breads, and everything. But after a certain age, when you get old, like moi, you tend to have absorption issues. So, and this is not a vegan-specific problem. B12 is throughout all dietary requirements. Get one of these, and it will boost your B12. If you feel you're feeling tired or a bit of a brain fog, get some of this down you. All it is a little spray straight into the cheeks. So Holland and Barrett are doing an offer on that, so jump on that. Yeah, because things like this is what we need to speak to people about as well, because even non-vegans are under the assumption that they get all these magic sort of vitamins and minerals in the diet, but because there's been so much emphasis on the B12 issue with vegans at the moment, most vegans are very aware and keep tabs on it now. So it's the people who are not vegan who are more likely to be B12 deficient, because they automatically assume that they're getting enough and it's being absorbed into the body. Big mistake. Same with vitamin D, it's like, so this is another thing that vegan mentorship will help. It'll put people on the right path and just dispel those rumors and those things that aren't true. Bohemian Bee, I use mine 2-3 times a week. It's just so convenient. Spray, that's it. We're having to do these unnatural things because we're doing unnatural things with the land and the animals. That's what it's all about. If we still lived like we used to live, the soils wouldn't be eroded. We're drinking water out of the taps that has been treated. This is the reason we need supplements now, is because of what we're doing to the land to create animal agriculture.
Yeah, I agree. That's true. True words.
Is there anybody else who's interested in jumping on board?
Since I've become vegan, I've never been so conscientious about my health, making sure that I'm regulating my vitamin D, B12, my iodine intake, selenium. Before I even became vegan, I just thought I was getting everything.
Where do you get your iodine from? Where do you get your iodine
from? I get it
from?
from either seaweed. Yeah, from eating seaweed.
I get some little seaweed tablets from Holland and Barrett. You get about 5,000 in a tub for about £3. They're amazing. But did you know that there was iodine in table salt? They put it in table salt.
Yeah, ionized.
I didn't know that.
Salt, yeah.
So, before I went vegan, I hardly heard of B12 except for B12 injections by the doctor for my Crohn's. Yeah, it's like nobody does. It's just like it's good really, because we're with the less likely to be suffering from B12 deficiency. You know what I mean? It's like is it vitamin D in brown mushrooms? If you eat brown mushrooms, they've got vitamin D as well. So nourish sheets, for iodine. There's a lot you can do. So, it's not looking like anybody's getting brave. There's loads of comments in the chat, but
since I became vegan and I got more conscious with the animals and everything, and got the ethics all in my head. I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing more like really disturbing than seeing someone get excited for a meal including meat. I just think it's just really wrong. I don't know about you, but when people go, "Oh yeah, I've got steak tonight," ooh, you're just thinking, "Oh my god, that's."
Well, I must admit, I did buy when I buy new vegan stuff, I'm excited like that. It's like, oh right, I'm gonna try this like when I tried the banana blossom fish with the nori sheets wrapped around it and deep fried in batter. I did get excited about that. I must admit, I thought, oh yeah, some real fish and chips, you know. So,
and it's like, there's another thing that really annoyed me the other day at work. Someone was going, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't touch a worm or something, or slugs." Ugh. But yet you're fucking shoving dead flesh in your face.
Isn't it?
Just like...
There's a lot of discrepancies in people's views and everything. The way they view things. And I mean, what was I watching last night? I was watching Celebrity Gogglebox, and they were watching this super vet program, and this dog had the bottom of its jaw ripped off. So this vet had like he put it to sleep, and he got metal rods and he rebuilt this dog's jaw. But all these celebs who were watching it they were streaming with tears, and they were like, I mean, it was awful. Yeah, of course it is. But then they were sat there eating like sausages, and they'd probably go and have the bacon butty in the morning. It's like that discrepancy over it, they just don't see it. They were moved to tears watching it, you know, and it's like, God, what about the pigs in the gas chambers? You know, what about the bolt gun in the cows in the head, the electrocuting sheep, you know, until the brains frazzle? It's like, that doesn't bother you. Yeah, it's mad, mate. It's absolutely mad. Love Fred. What's this 40-year-old vegan? Love fruit, veggies, and beans. Oh, and potatoes, of course. Oh yeah, I love a bit of mashed potato.
Oh, yeah.
I love mashed potato on its own. I love mashed potato sandwiches. I've had that before now. Mashed potato and gravy sandwiches.
I had
That's a
bubbling
northern
steak
thing,
last
that,
night.
isn't it?
Putting anything on a sandwich in the north, we put anything between two slices of bread. Anything, pies, the full Monty. Yeah. So, anything else we want to chat about?
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there coming on board? 40-year-old vegan seems very, very sort of chatty, but
Where's that?
He's not
that
coming.
Does anyone in the comments section want to ask us a question, and we'll discuss it?
Speciesism.
Get Michelle on. Why is Michelle coming on?
She's probably sat eating chocolate and sweets and got some weird slippers on and all her hair in a mess.
I haven't got any pants on.
Yeah.
I'm naked underneath.
Yeah, it's just the top.
Or
Where's, Zach?
she might be hiding from other YouTubers. The YouTubers might be outside with pitchforks and torches. Saying, come outside, witch.
What about Zach?
Oh, Zach, I don't know. I've not even seen him on the chat. I love mash in bread and butter. Speciesism. What are your thoughts on speciesism? What do you think? What do you think about when you think about speciesism?
Hypocrites. That's what comes to mind.
Are they hypocrites, or is it just the way we've been brought up? It's like,
I think it is a problem with society. I think the way culture is viewed.
I mean, it's very. I mean, when I first went vegan, I had a problem to hear that. I had a problem to. Oh God, what was I talking about? It's completely gone. It's completely gone.
Yeah, well, different cultures all around the world view different species differently. Like, it's not acceptable to eat cows in India, or is it? And then you know they eat dogs in China, and we don't eat dogs in England and
That
UK.
was it. That was it. You reminded me. That was it. It was. I couldn't get my head around, like, if you wanted a dog, why can't you get it from a breeder? I couldn't understand why breeders were wrong.
Yeah,
That's what as you go up, you sort of go along being in a vegan lifestyle, you start asking questions, and you wonder then, don't you? Why can't I go and buy a puppy from a puppy farm? What's wrong with that? And then you realise then, well, they're making money off the backs of breeding animals, and a lot of them are kept in bad conditions. The caged animals, they're taken away from the mothers. It's like, yeah, you don't really sort of get it sometimes.
I think I think PETA, the company, the organisation, I think they actually are pro neutering. I think they are. Their views are.
But would we like to see the end of like? I mean, would we like to see the end of dog companions? Because let's just say the whole country became vegan, right? Just say it did. Would that mean that would be the end? Because all the dogs that are in homes, we'd take them in. But once they die, would that be the end of it? Would that be the end of pets? How would that work? How would it work? I don't.
Well, it depends in what sense, because if you're having a dog to exploit them, to say go rabbiting and things like that.
As a pet.
Yeah,
as a companion. So what would happen? What would happen? What would dogs as pets just disappear? What would we do? It's just, or would you meet up with a friend with a dog and a bitch, and maybe, I don't know. It's just mad. Right, we've got somebody else jumping up.
I think it's, well, if you're not breeding them to exploit them like that, then I think it would be fine to have a companion.
Oh yes, you're on, Daryl. Yeah, I like to surprise people.
Hello.
Hi, Daryl.
What's up?
Nice to have you on board, mate. Daryl is runs Defender of Animal Clothing. He's the. Come on, let's do the t-shirt bounce again. He does all these t-shirts.
I do. Oh my god, look at us! Woohoo! We're amazing. Love
so,
it.
Daryl, you've jumped on board. Thank you.
He's my companion animal.
Yeah. Well, so what's your answer to that, Daryl? What would you say if the whole UK went vegan? What would happen to domesticated pets? What would happen to our companion animals? Would that be it? How does it work?
Well, yeah, it's a really tricky subject because it's almost similar to the whole farmed animals. Because surely, if we disagree with, what we're doing to farmed animals, they're not here for us. They're here with us. Surely that applies to companion animals as well. So it is tricky. So would it be a case of, if the world gradually goes vegan, then less and less people have companion animals?
Let me just pop this up. Look at this.
I like it.
I'm the manager. I hated it.
That's brilliant.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so maybe the world would gradually not have a desire to share their house with pets. Which, is that a bad thing? Obviously, we love our animals and we love to have companion animals, so that would be sad. But if they weren't born, we wouldn't. So
what's the answer to when people say, well, like that pig farmer on TikTok who we've all been trolling? We've been now. He says, well, if the whole world goes vegan, these animals go extinct. What's your answer to that?
Well, that's what I want, and that's what I'm sure all of us want. They're not wild animals. They're different to tigers roaming in the wild or gorillas out in the Congo. They're not wild animals. We've bred them and domesticated them, and then getting on to companion animals, we've done exactly the same to them. They're not wild animals. So if they were never born, then we'd never know the difference. And I'd rather that a cow was never born.
Because you can have centuries, can't you? them. You can have sanctuaries dotted around the world, so people can still, it would still exist. Do you know what I mean? But obviously,
But
a minimal.
Only for a set amount of time, though.
Well, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
obviously
You wouldn't
they
force to be
expire.
pregnant then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather that. I'd rather you guys not just be born to be murdered. So that's why, we'd rather they go extinct. They're not natural anyway. They've been selectively bred over years and years.
I mean, I suppose if you asked some kid in Mumbai who's on the streets and is starving and has got no family, if he had the option not to be born, what would you pick? I'm sure they'd say, well, I'd rather not be born into this shit.
Well, I'm just going to put this out there. You can still have farm animals, but not exploit them as such. So you could have them grazing on land. So you wouldn't have to just go combine cutting down just regulating the wildlife, if that makes sense. If you put a herd of cows on a bit of pasture, they're going to eat all the grass and just keep it all maintained for you and fertilize the ground at the same time.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I watched a TV show and I've been trying to find it, and there's an island somewhere in the Outer Hebrides or somewhere in that area, and it's something like 3 mile wide, and it's like cliffs on either side. It's just non-accessible, and the people left in a rush. They just left, and they left a herd of cows there. Now, people's argument would say the cows would just keep breeding, and they'd be just like an island full of cows, but they didn't. They only bred with what resources there were there. They self-regulated the herd. So this herd has stayed pretty much within the confines of what's there available for them to eat. So we could release them into the wild. Because people seem to think that they'll just breed and go wild, and it doesn't work like that, nature. Obviously, you've got the pest problems where predators will help keep certain numbers down, but most of the time, herd animals are self-regulated, and it's the surroundings that regulate how big they are.
Yeah,
because animals, when they're not getting enough food, they don't come on heat, so they're not going to breed that year. So it's all pretty much self-regulating.
the cows will take over.
In the States, there are so many cats and dogs that are homeless. It's very sad. At some point, the shelters are full and they have to put them down. Yeah, it's the same here. Exactly the same here. There's thousands and thousands of cats and dogs that get put down because people get them, and then they realise that they've got to take them for a walk, pick up the dog shit, you know what I mean? They can't just leave them. They go on holiday. What we're going to do with the dog? Oh, just kick it out.
Yeah.
We need to go on holiday, Yeah, it happens a lot.
And people are still buying designer pedigree puppies for thousands of pounds. And there's dogs sitting in adoption shelters.
Oh, it's all about ego. You know what I mean? It's all about ego and about vanity after this. What was this craze at one time with the little dogs in the handbags? You used to see all the celebs with the clutch bags with a little dog in it. It's like, it's just an accessory. It ain't a companion. You're just trying to be trendy with all the others. Just follow the lead.
I feel sorry for the staffers. They've had such a bad name in recent times.
Yeah, and they're gorgeous dogs.
Yeah, they are gorgeous dogs, but again, when you selectively breed things to be a certain thing, it comes with problems. And when you breed dogs that are bred to hunt and be, I don't know, I'm not speaking from experience, and maybe I shouldn't go down this line, but yeah, there's lots of dogs out there bred to be sort of vicious. Some are bred to like chase down lions. Some are bred to be guard dogs, and is it in the temperament, or is it trained into them to be vicious? I don't know. It's just mad. This whole, like, is it the Alsatians that have problems with the back legs? Bulldogs have problems with the breathing. There's lots and lots of problems that are bred into these animals, and it's not right. It's not right at all.
No, it's not.
So what would your answer be to guide dogs? Because I've always sort of pondered on that one. I'm thinking, well, what about guide dogs? What could you do? Is that vegan? Are guide dogs vegan? That's made everybody go quiet, hasn't it?
It's hard. It's hard. I remember a while ago, AV, Anonymous for the Voiceless, posted on their socials about guide dogs, and lots of people found it controversial. And I don't know where I stand. Don't know where I stand on it. It's really hard.
It is, because what's the alternative? You know, it's one of those. It's like it's a companionship, and where do they get the dogs from? Are they from breeders? Are they from rescues? Do they just look for certain animals with certain sort of? I mean, because you can tell different dogs the way they react and the way they are with people. So yeah, it's a funny old one, that.
I suppose I don't know much about the guide dog situation, but I suppose the alternative would mean more money. Would mean more money into actual human time and carers for people with
mind. Yeah,
I suppose technology would take over eventually. I mean, there's a lot of technology coming now. There's a lot of there's apps, and I think they're developing things for people who are partially sighted that vibrate, scan and vibrate when they sort of things are in front of them. So I suppose technology could make guide dogs obsolete, but it's one of those obscure things that sort of we just have to sort of put up with. But personally, it's a symbiotic relationship. That's all I can see. But I don't know. Oh, the phlegm face. Oh, is that I'm Easy Vegan? Phlegm face is let's have a look. Yeah, join the link.
Go on.
I think with anything about sort of guide dogs or things like that, I think because dogs have now become companions, and I think we do have a duty of care with them. Whatever we decide, I think. I don't know where I stand on the whole guide dog thing, but I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one because they're not. I mean, broadly speaking, if someone has a guide dog, their guide dog is not going to be mistreated, across the board. They're going to be a well-loved, looked after animal, but it's the whole use, isn't it? It's the animal use.
Have you got any questions, Flem? Have you got any anything you want to speak about? Anything you want us to sort of have a mooch on? She can't be noisy at the moment.
I was going to say, when it comes to not so much lesser topics when it comes to veganism, but things that I don't know, how do I say this? Not on a huge scale. When people say, "Oh, crop deaths," there's still crop deaths, but it's like, well, we will get to that. Let's talk. The biggest thing is factory farming. You know what I mean? That the biggest thing is that we eat animals. These other on smaller scale topics, we can deal with them. As we progress. You see what I'm saying? But it is interesting to talk about, obviously.
Agreed.
It is. I mean, there's another peculiarity. I mean, people go on about the almond crops in America and about how they have to import the bees, but it's that has developed to the point where if the almond crops don't exist, the bees don't exist because the beekeepers will not keep the bees. So it's like, so they need each other now, and they can't do without even though it's not natural, they can't do without each other now. So it's like, where do you go with that? So do we carry on developing almond crops and keeping the bees alive, or do we get rid of the almond crops because we need to, it's we're getting to, and it's human interaction that's caused these problems, these unnatural problems that we've got to try and sort artificially, which is being done. But everything does stem down to, we've caused these problems ourselves, so we've got to try and Oh my God, the sun is out. That big yellow disc is out. Vitamin D. I won't burst into flame. But yeah, do you see what I'm saying? It's like we're getting to the point where we can't do that to each other. But the crop desk thing is like, I mean, people talk about avocados being shipped over, and but I talked a little while ago about those greenhouses where they're using the heat produced by sewage works on human waste, piping it into these enormous greenhouses, and we're growing tropical fruits and tomatoes and avocados. So we are sort of now developing, and there's going to be no pests in these greenhouses. So we are developing systems. There's vertical farming, which is just basically a big warehouse where we grow crops indoors. I mean, there's millions, you know, if you look at it, there's millions of miniature farmers in the UK who are good at growing certain crops in their attics. And we all know what that means, don't we? But they're very good on hydroponics. You know what I mean? It's all there. Everything's in place to sort of grow stuff ourselves, especially exotic plants, very exotic plants.
Yeah, Flimface has pretty much said what I was saying. Yeah, these things can, we can talk about them later down the line, but they are interesting to talk about. But it annoys me when, I do a lot of troll bashing, and they bring up these type of things, and it's just like, why are you even talking about this? How are you talking about, how can you justify insects getting killed to slitting an animal's throat just for taste pleasure? Do you know what I mean? You can't compare it, and it's ridiculous to compare that.
Of course it is. I mean, I drive down the motorway in my wagon. We can't do without wagons, and there must be about 500 million flies on the front of my wagon that are dead. You walk down the road, you can inhale a fly, swallow a fly. That's not done on purpose. That's accidental deaths, and it's just clutching at straws, I think.
It's because they have no justification. So
I
just think of the stupidest thing.
I mean, Michelle says if we could just stop stabbing animals in the throat for food or experimenting on them in labs, I'd be happy for that for now. Yeah, I think we all would. I mean, that's the primary goal. All the other sort of, like Flem says, all these other nuanced issues that arise because of what we've done to nature, we can deal with in the future. Technology is going through the roof now. There's technology out there for everything, and they will find answers for all sorts. As with crop deaths, we cannot actually avoid these in a system that won't change. First, you have to convince these industries stabbing animals is wrong for them to take it seriously. Yeah, of course it is.
You've seen the vertical farming?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. So there are ways. Do you know what I mean? So, like I said, we'll deal with that later. Do you know what I mean? For now, stop slitting animals' throats. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it makes me laugh as well when these people say, oh, what about all the rabbits and so on that get killed for your crops? It's like, well, give me the proof, because I'm sure there's not thousands and millions. Do you know what I mean? Like, rabbits not stupid. I'm pretty sure if they hear like command answer, they ain't just going to sit there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
they're fucking bolt, mate.
This is ridiculous.
If they can,
absolute bollocks.
Well, what they're talking about, actually, I've had a look into this, and what they're actually talking about is when they grow the crops, little animals like voles and field mice and everything move in, make homes there, and then when they bring in the crops and cut all this down, then all these little animals are prone to predators, and it's like that's what they're referring to. But again, it's like we're not doing it on purpose, and you've got to eat. And again, 75% of the land we use to farm animals, we could give back to nature. And
it's like, if these trolls care so much about crop deaths, then go vegan. I mean, because
you've got to go vegan, because then you would automatically, the default situation would be vegan if you're worried about crop deaths.
Yeah, I think the final line is intention, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of course it is. I mean, we're not going to get away from cars. Cars are going electric in I think in a decade or so. It's going to be all electric. So we're covering each sort of problem as environmentally as we can. you know. But at this moment in time, the biggest thing you can do to help the environment and global warming issues is go vegan, you know. But people, they want to find excuses. It's so easy, you know. I can find a million excuses not to go to the gym, you know. I've worked so I got up early, you know. Yeah, very good at that. But you've got to find that reason to do it, that one reason to do it, and get that in your head. That's what you've got to do. That's what you've got to think about.
It's like Flemflay said, you know, taking it to industries stabbing animals is wrong, and get them take it seriously. How, you know, that's what makes me laugh about these trolls and so on, that they go on about crop deaths. It's like, if you want me to take you seriously about crop deaths, why aren't you killing animals, stabbing them in the throat serious? I mean, like, it's ridiculous.
And the thing is about it as well is that if we just let it ride, it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. It's just, I mean, people talk about soil erosion, and one of the biggest contributors to soil erosion are sheep, are grazing sheep. They're the worst ones because they chew right down and kill the grass, and then the wind blows. And they reckon that a lot of animal agriculture is to blame for a lot of the flooding that we have in the UK, because forests are being chopped down, trees are chopped down, they're clearing rivers, diverting rivers, they're clearing channels out so that they can, you know, it's just all meshed together. And society, we're just destroying the environment, and it needs to be left in its natural state. I mean, monocrops or whatever, or just growing crops in general for food, we can't get away from that. We can't get away from that. That's going to be what's going to sustain the human race. But the rest of it is just devastating to the environment. Devastating. I mean, people laugh at me when I mention, well, what's wrong with cows? What's this methane thing? And I say, well, they fart and they burp. Well, a couple of cows doing that ain't going to do much, is it? But it's like 60, 70 billion cows farting and burping. That's quite a lot. They shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't even be on the planet. This is extra that we've got, not existing already. And as we know, methane is the worst one. Methane is the worst greenhouse gas we've got at the moment.
And yet all those people will always blame the overpopulation of humans. It's like, yeah, there's quite a few humans, but there's a downside more livestock.
Yeah. But do you know something though? Water. When you put, there was a guy, I forgot which TV show it was on, and it was a guy looking at agriculture, animal agriculture, and he got a map, and he got all the human civilization, all the towns and cities, and he put them in a scaled map of the whole of the land surface of the planet, and it was tiny. We occupy such a tiny part of the planet. It's unbelievable. It was so surprising how little we actually occupy of the landmass of this planet. It's just that we're all spread out. Like New Zealand, there's more lambs than people. There's more sheep than people in New Zealand. It's surprising how little we actually, but we have such a big impact. And the biggest impact is animal agriculture, because that is the biggest driver of it. The chopping down trees, farming in general has had a devastating effect on the planet. It has, even for wheat and vegetables, it has had a devastating effect, but nowhere near as much as animal agriculture. Nowhere near.
Yeah, really annoys me, these environmentalists who aren't vegan. Like, I don't think you can't be an environmentalist if you're not vegan, in my eyes. I mean, it's the easiest thing you can do. Is just change. Yeah. Is just stop eating animals. Do you know what I mean? If you care so much about the planet, then you start there. You know what I mean?
Even to do with things like diseases, and antibiotic resistance is now becoming the new trend, isn't it?
That's frightening.
We are so regulative with our antibiotics as humans, but yet, you know, when it comes to animals, they're like looking the other way. And all of pretty much our diseases stem from animals.
And you know something? Have you seen the plant-based news report on the bubonic plague?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
recently just saw that. Yeah,
And
China,
at first
again.
I thought, whoa, you know what I mean? Scary shit. But it can be treated with antibiotics. But
Oh
the
yeah.
minute-
And yeah.
I've just muted Aaron.
Yeah.
Shut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys,
He's
I got
back.
I got to go anyway, guys. So I'll catch you later.
All right, mate. Thanks for coming on.
See you,
and
mate.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
no worries.
coming and speaking to us.
I can't remember the Latin name for it. I think it's like I can't remember. Cineus pestis or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, we had a bubonic plague scare at work once.
Really?
Yeah, it turned out not to be.
Yes, no. Somebody's mentioned this to me. Did you see that they're releasing bison back to the UK, fenced in at first, then left to roam free, rewilding?
I haven't seen it. No.
Down
I'm
in
good.
Kent somewhere. I think.
Really?
That's all I know. I just saw
Nice.
in a headline somewhere.
That's really interesting. I'd love to see a bison. They're great animals, so majestic, brilliant.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
thought-
I mean, there's been all sorts of animals like that they've been talking about for years, like reintroducing lynx, Eurasian lynx, into I don't know Scotland, I think it was, but they never do it because of the farmers and the threat to farmed animals, which is really sad.
So I thought I heard that they were going to release wolves, weren't they, at some stage in Scotland, or bears? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talking bringing predators back because the deer. There's a lot of. I mean, in fact, I was driving down the motorway the other day and I saw 2 baby deer at the side of the motorway behind the crash barrier. So they are spreading far and wide. I don't know whether that's anything to do with the coronavirus and the fact that everywhere's been quiet lately. But yeah, I think they were talking about bringing them in to sort the deer out. But again, there's other ways of doing this now. We've got technology. We can shoot them with darts that make them infertile, and surely there's a better way than introducing predators. Because what's going to happen if there's predators in the UK? Some backpacker or kid on his mountain bike is going to get ravaged by a frigging wolf or a bear or something like that.
Yeah. And then they'll all get shot because that
they'll
yeah.
all get cold. It's like the badger thing. The only reason we want to call badgers is because they supposedly transmit TB to cows. So the only reason we are calling badgers is because it's a threat to someone's livelihood who is abusing animals in the first place.
Yeah, we don't need to fucking eat cows. So
Yeah.
Deers are increasing due to lack of predation. So what do we do about it? What's the ethical way we can deal with it? I mean, it's got to be. So, I mean, what it is though now is that the government don't like spending money, and I can see our future at the moment. It's going to be pretty grim after. I mean, I think we're looking at this COVID crisis lasting for at least another 12 months before it's sort of in the past, or they get a vaccine pretty soon. I mean, who's going to take the vaccine? What's your thoughts on the vaccine, COVID vaccine? Has it been tested on animals?
Personally, I'm not going to get it. That's just my personal opinion.
Why? You work in a hospital. Why? You wouldn't be able to. They would tell you can't work in the hospital unless you have that vaccine. I'm telling you now.
That's my way out of this place. Oh.
see you later.
Yeah. No, no. I ain't taking it. I don't fit the category of people at risk anyway of dying. I could see why I'd probably be part of the herd immunity or something.
Yeah, but the trouble is at the moment is like this herd immunity thing. They're saying like only 1% of the population it's going to be fatal for, but that's still a hell of a lot of people. But it's one of those. Do we want rid? But again, I drifted off my line of thought then. But what I was thinking was when we do sort of start coming back to normality. The government is going to want to claw this massive debt back, and how they're going to do it, and resources that might have benefited from the government now. It's going to be strict. I think we're going to see a recession. I think we're going to see problems. So is it going to be a plus for the vegan movement is the question. Is it going to make people realize, whoa, I don't want this shit to happen again? After spending 12 months of like having high taxes and less money and more expensive food and petrol going up in price, and you know,
I'm such a pessimist, and from the get-go I thought, oh, brilliant, people are going to start listening now, and this is going to benefit us going forward and society and the animals. But I work opposite of butchers, and every day they're queuing, mate. They're queuing to get in there, and you know, the high street's full of cars again. And Dan, you've probably seen the roads just kicking off again. And I just don't think we just don't listen.
No, I think it's like, you know, when you've had a cold and like you feel so bad and you're so ill and it's terrible, and I'm going to be so careful in future. I'm going to take my vitamins. I'm going to eat more fruits and vegetables. But as soon as you feel better again, you've forgotten about that episode. It's gone. It's out your mind. It's like, right, let's get back to normal. Let's get back on the whiskey. Come on, let's run around bare-chested in the freezing cold. Let's do it. You know, it's just mad, innit? And that's it. But people are too dumb to make any connections without it being drummed into them. And yeah, this is my point exactly, is we've really got to sort of stop being worried. I mean, Michelle's had a bit of a do with a snowflake, a meat-eating snowflake on YouTube who's sort of crumbled, you know, any criticism towards them. But we need to get away from this being worried about offending people, because it's not causing offense isn't a problem. You know, it's not causing offense shouldn't be on your mind. It should be tell people the truth. And people, I mean, when people talk to me, and like with my acting, I'll put videos out for other actors to sort of speak about and criticize for me. Now, if I put a video out of me doing a monologue, my family go, oh, that's brilliant, Danny, that's superb, you know what I mean? But if I put it out to other professionals, other people like myself, and they turn around and say, you're a bit ropey there, I didn't believe it was a bit shit, I'm not going to take offense. I'm going to go, oh, God. That was a bit weird.
Yeah, you went a bit laggy then.
Is somebody watching us? Is Big Brother watching us? But what I'm trying to say is I appreciate honesty. Are we still here? Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Just about to say that was shit, and you were going to look at it, and then it went laggy.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that I value honesty from people. I'd rather people said, "Look, Danny, that was a bit shit." At least I know I can, you know, and I don't get offended and think, oh, they said it was shit. So it's the same with people when you're talking about veganism. Can we go down this vegetarian route again? It's like when you said to a vegetarian, yeah, you feel like you're doing a lot for animals. However, did you realize that your dairy and eggs cause an absolute shitload of suffering, torture, and pain to animals? You can't shy away from that. And they might get offended, and a lot do get offended because they've spent years under the assumption that they're doing the best for the animals. So we can't shy away. So we've got to be totally honest with people. We've got to drum it in and say, look, no, that dollar you're handing over is causing a shitload of enslavement, oppression, torture, abuse, pain. It's sentient beings, you know?
Yeah, you're right. We've got to be direct.
Yeah. It's a bit like backyard eggs. I don't know, you mentioned something about that, and it just reminded me. I can't remember what it was that you said.
Backyard eggs.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what it was. Oh, yeah, vegetarians, that was it. You mentioned vegetarians thinking that they're doing their bit. But yeah, backyard eggs, like vegetarians with backyard eggs. They have their own chickens, but what they don't, they're like, oh yeah, but I give my chickens the best life. And I'm like, well, do you realise that their parents are still shoved in like a a hanger somewhere, getting forcibly impregnated by someone spiking the flock?
Yeah.
Do you really not realise that? Yeah. Fair enough. You keep treating your chickens, but you're eating their period, which is weird.
Yeah,
but their
that's,
parents are still getting exploited at the moment.
I mean,
as
they
well.
do. I've had this conversation, and it goes from backyard eggs. Oh no, the rescue chickens. Oh, the rescue chickens. Said, okay, well,
Oh, right.
rescue
Yeah,
chickens.
that changes
So,
it a bit.
oh, now I've got rescue chickens, right? So that's really cool. So I just eat that. When they lay an egg, I just pick up their egg and eat it. And I say, well, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. You eat that, but you're eating one of the biggest sources of cholesterol there is out there. So it's not doing your health any good. So why bother anyway? Just smash it and let the chicken eat it, or leave it where it is.
That's it.
But yeah, it's that windy road that they try and sort of back off away from you, don't they? And change the goalposts all the time and say, oh no, the rescue hens these, so that's okay. And I always said to them, well, if they rescue hens and they lay an egg and you want to eat the egg, eat your egg. Fine with that. I wouldn't say not vegan for that. It's just one of those things, If you want to eat, if your dog does a shit and you want to eat that, you eat that. That's fine by me. That's vegan as far as I'm concerned. Just do it.
That's literally what was going through my head.
Well, I don't see any difference. You see what I mean? There's no difference.
Oh, I got to go. Dog's just had a shit.
Cheers to you. Well, listen, I am going to wrap it up now because, there's lots going on. My wife's cooking away there and pizzas is going in and stuff like that. But I think it sort of worked, this soapbox thing. We didn't get any of the people here chatting. They've all promised to do it next time. So we'll give it another go in a couple of weeks and see if we can get more people who don't normally sort of speak to me online. The Peachy Vegan. I will be doing an interview with Peachy Vegan in a couple of weeks. She does theatre in schools, and I think did you say you're over in Tokyo, Peachy? I'll be doing an interview. That should be pretty interesting. Look at that pig there. Wow. So thanks for coming on, guys. It's been really cool. We've covered a lot of subjects, and hopefully you people out there, yes, I'm talking to you, stop getting behind that keyboard and get your face on here next time. Get on the soapbox.
Let's have a debate, a mass debate.
A mass debate. Let's do this. Okay, thanks a lot. Speak soon.
I can't hear you.